went to the can return today, and I didn't even nearly get in a fight. I helped people. I helped people. And as I'm walking down the road with the stuff out of my trunk, and I'm just like, I said, I gotta get out of the middle of the road. I got a shopping cart full of beer cans. And though it's very well organized, people still might think even worse. That's a pretty organized bum. Why doesn't he have a job? And no, it's not that way. So I said, I'll get out of the road so people don't have to come up behind me. And I went up in front, and they have the whole front area where you could normally walk. They got it filled with all these plants and things. You know, it's spring. So I'm just walking all through there to stay off the road so traffic can move. And I didn't notice a single flower and all that. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I was just pulling my cart of cans. You know, there's an interesting thing too. We are going to start having a posture that's a lot like this from looking at our phones when we're on them, you know. And because I once saw one of the overnight bums, that's the way they work in San Jose. They're up at night. That way, there aren't people attacking them so much if they're awake, and they sleep during the day. And there's also a pecking order. I once saw a bum walk up to this woman that was pushing a shopping cart, and he was a guy, and he comes up and he looks at her. He says, and he looks down into her cart and he says, and he just looks at her again, and he goes in and he starts digging through, and he pulls something out that was food stuff of some sort. And he looked at her and said, and he walked away, and she's just standing there the whole time. And she moved on. There is order. It's just like any other aspect of the animal world. Pecking orders and things like that. Animals have our ways, don't we? But then there was another night that I saw this guy pushing a shopping cart, and he was probably 30, but he looked about 70. I'm gonna say, just looking at him, he looked like a 70-year-old, but he was probably just 30. And he was pushing his cart like this, and he's pushing this cart, and I'm thinking, that guy's been pushing that cart for a long time. And he stopped and he walked around, he let go of his cart, and he reached down, he picked something up and he put it in his cart, and then he goes back to his cart and he starts pushing his cart. And I realized that fucker's been pushing that cart so long, his whole posture has gone fucking awful. That's you know. So I'm looking like a bum pushing a cart. People are saying, that guy's posture, you better take care of it. And I do every once in a while. I like to stand relaxed. I used to stand like this quite a lot until I saw my shadow once, and it looked like I was bending over backwards for somebody. And I said, well, I should work on my posture. Every once in a while. Push a cart too long, your posture's going to go to shit. So I'm looking into going in and returning my cans and being a good, citizen. And I walk through all these things, and just boom, it jumps out at me. One of these little displays out of all those displays. Like Dr. Mira Zussman said, you go to pick out a tomato in the supermarket, don't think about picking out a tomato. She said, just stand there and say, which one of you wants to come with me? And one will jump out, and that's the one you take, and that's the one that's going to be the best. I don't eat tomatoes, but that's the idea. There's a concept to it. Just let things flow. I'm not saying whether it works or not, but look at me. And so this damn thing jumps out. Look at it. I had to read it. It's a begonia. It's a begonia with ivy. So I picked it up and put it on top of all my empty beer cans. And I said, thing's gonna take over. Should probably have another color, so I bought another one. It's a different color, but it's beautiful, isn't it? And I said, what a wonderful surprise for Victoria. I bought her flowers, and it was just the amount of money that was in my trunk to get all these flowers that I got. So it was like I got them for free. I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice to plant something beautiful in the yard? It's been a long time since I put anything beautiful in the yard. So, there it is. And I brought it home, and it was a surprise, and it was great. And then she goes in, she said, oh, I have a surprise for you. And I said, oh, this is very exciting, because I didn't even know I had a surprise for you until I found it. And she comes out with this. Look at that. Look at that. Oh. I'm like, what the hell is that? It's just, it's beautiful. And up here in the corner it says, watch German politics. This is called the trumpet. It says, watch German politics. And I immediately think that Pfizer vaccine with BioNTech. Well, I read something about BioNTech, whatever you want to call it. I've never heard it really said out loud. Pfizer teamed up with them. They are a German company. The Germans have had plenty of practice in, medicine and things. They used to be like the cultural nexus of the world, kind of in their own way. And they've got great art, great science. Where do you think we got the jet engines? I don't know. I didn't say I knew. They've got all this stuff. So I realized maybe now that the trumpet is saying watch German politics, maybe we're supposed to be understanding that through this virus, that the U.S. is saving itself as a power nation by joining forces with this German pharmaceutical company. And maybe they're the ones picking out who's gonna make it. Maybe that's the next way. I don't know what the trumpet says. I haven't read it. I'm just so happy to have it. I just got it. And the next one says, Chauvin verdict, quote, is not justice, end quote. So there's a story in there that says that somebody that murdered someone in public is wrongly accused. Okay. Then the next one, high cost of free money. Well, you can go anywhere you want with that. That's a golden cage. That's Melania's golden cage right there. Free money? You still gotta play this fucking game. Now you don't have anything left of yourself at all. And the last one, it excited me the most when I read it. Listen to this. There's another story in there. It says, is lying always wrong? It's a question they're asking. There's a story about it, I guess. I realize the best part of this is that it's child friendly. All I can imagine when I see that last one says, is lying always wrong? Is a 4-year-old standing there saying to his dad after he told his mother that he wasn't fucking the neighbor, and the kid's been watching the whole time. It's homeschooling. And he's like, Dad, you said lying was wrong. And the dad's got to sit there nice, whatever, Christian kid, whatever he is. I don't know what they're turning him into. I don't know what this magazine is. He's sitting him on his knee and he's saying, sometimes there are white lies. Sometimes there are lies you tell people to make them feel better about themselves when they know that it's not true to begin with. And they know that you don't even believe what they believe. But they know, as long as I can get him to say he's okay with me, I'm gonna be all right. So sometimes, little Johnny, it's okay to fuck the neighbor's wife and tell your mom that, oh no, you were over there just doing whatever you were doing. I can make up any number of jokes. It's not something to laugh at. Is lying always wrong? I'm like, wow. And I see again the trumpet, and it's got there. It says jab or else. I noticed they didn't get any of the Congress women to pose for that picture. They wanted somebody to look pretty. I wouldn't fuck one of them. And that's got nothing to say about their looks. It's just that I'm a happy man, and getting something like that on me would just make me question my whole being for the rest of my life. I've only got so much. And jab or else. Look at that. How about a shot of heroin for that? They should mix it with heroin. That way it makes you feel better when you get it. You're like, wow, this is the best stuff ever. I don't regret it at all. When's my next shot? 3 weeks. Something like that. Oh, yeah. But the trumpet. I'm still wondering, why do they call it the trumpet? And I realize just last year, the year before, Victoria and I put in a trumpet vine, and I put up a trellis, and we weaved it as it was hanging out so it would follow the trellis, and it's all up there, and it creates this great big fan, and it's a privacy fence. That trumpet vine, a hummingbird vine they call it also, at the trumpet vine, it's a privacy fence. We can sit out there, and if somebody wants to look at us, they have to walk around the goddamn thing. And oh, what are you looking at? Oh, you want me to sign something? What if I sign your death certificate? Something like that, Keeps people out of the backyard uninvited. So I guess that's all I can come up with is trying to hide the truth. And then you open it up. And this verdict is not justice. Somebody's screaming something. And I don't believe I would follow that person out of a fire if I were in a terrible situation. She just looks like a fucking maniac. I don't know if she's a good person or a bad person. I don't think of people that way. Everybody's an asshole. Oh, there's one. What's that say? oh, what will happen after that poor guy regains power? It's not what will happen if he regains power. What will happen after? Well, you know what I can tell you? If that's a serious question, I don't even need to read the article, because I can tell you what happens if after he regains power. Well, there's not going to be an election anymore. He's going to become a king. The problem is, if we look at the other side of him, the side that he's not on, kings have never done so well in American history. Marty, Rodney. Oh, we might as well throw that Dennis Lang, whatever the fuck guy that got taken out of his truck and beaten in there too. He's a king just like the rest of them. He didn't do so well.